Hare Krishna. Happy to be with you again in South London. This morning we will read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 4. It's entitled The Appearance of Sri Narad, text 24. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudirayat Nasbhezya Bhadresya Nityam Bharata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So, I hope you have it on the book or on your phone. Then you can repeat. Da eva veda durmeder.
Da eva veda durmeder.
Dharyante posher yatha.
Dharyante posher yatha.
Evam sakara bhagavan.
Evam sakara bhagavan.
Vyasa kripana vatsalaha.
Vyasa kripana vatsalaha.
Daiva veda durmeder.
Daiva veda durmeder.
Dharyante posher yatha.
Dharyante posher yatha.
Evam sakara bhagavan.
Evam sakara bhagavan.
Vyasa kripana vatsala.
Vyasa kripana vatsala.
Daiva veda durmedai.
Daiva veda durmedai.
Dharyante posher yatha.
Dharyante posher yatha.
Evam sakara bhagavan.
Evam sakara bhagavan.
Vyasa kripana vatsala.
Vyasa kripana vatsala.
Daiva Veda Durmede
Daiva Veda Durmede
Dharyante Purusharyata
Dharyante Purusharyata
Evam Chakara Bhagavan
Evam Sakara Bhagavan
Vyasa Kripana Vatsala
Vyasa Kripana Vatsala
Daiva Veda Durmedhoi
Daiva Veda Durmede
Dharyante Purushai Yatha
Dharyante Purusharyata
Evam Chakaro Bhagavano
Evam Sakara Bhagavan
Veshu Kripana Vatsala
Vyasa Kripana Vatsala
Daiva veda durmede.
Daiva Veda Durmede
Dharyante purusharyatha.
Dharyante Purusharyata
Evam chakara bhagavan.
Evam Sakara Bhagavan
Vyasa kripana vatsala.
Vyasa Kripana Vatsala
Daiva veda durmedha.
Daiva Veda Durmede
Dharyante purusharyatha.
Dharyante Purusharyata
Evam chakara bhagavan.
Evam Sakara Bhagavan
Vyasa kripana vatsala.
Vyasa Kripana Vatsala Mataji, please.
Taiva Veda Durmedhe
Taiva Vedam Mede
Dharyante Purushe Yatha
Dayante Pushe Yata
Evam Chakara Bhagavan
Evam Sakara Bhagavan
Vyasa Kripana Vatsalaha
Vyasa Kripana Vatsalaha
Taiva Veda Durmede
Taiva Veda Dumede
Dharyante Purusheta
Dayante Pushe Yata
Evam Chakar Bhagavan
Evam Sakara Bhagavan
Vyasa Kripana Vatsalaha
Vyasa Kripana Vatsalaha
Taiva Veda Durmede
Taiva Veda Dumede
Dharyante Purusharyata
Dayante Pushe Yata
Evam Chakara Bhagavan
Evam Chakara Bhagavan
Vyasah Kripana Vatsalaha
Vyasa Kripana Vatsalaha. Word for word translation. Te dat. Just a moment.
Do we need to plug in the charger?
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Veda,
Veda,
the book of knowledge.
the book of knowledge.
Domadai,
Durmadai,
by the less intellectual.
by the less intellectual.
Daryante,
Daryante,
can assimilate.
can assimilate.
Posai,
Purushai,
by the man.
by the man.
Yatha,
Yatha,
as much as.
as much as.
Evam,
Evam,
thus.
thus.
Sakara,
Chakara,
edited.
edited.
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
the powerful.
the powerful.
Vyasa,
Vyasa,
the great sage Vyas.
the great sage Vyasa.
Kripana Vatsalaha,
Kripana Vatsalaha.
very kind to the ignorant mass of people. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thus the great sage Vyasadeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they might be assimilated by less intellectual man. Please repeat. Thus the great sage Vyasadeva,
Thus the great sage Vyasadeva,
who is very kind to the ignorant masses,
who is very kind to the ignorant masses,
edited the Vedas
edited the Vedas
so they might be assimilated
so they might be assimilated
by less intellectual man.
by less intellectual men.
Purport. The Veda is one, and the reason for its division in many parts are explained herewith. The seat of all knowledge, or the Veda, is not a subject matter which can easily be understood by ordinary men. There is a stricture that one should try to learn the Vedas who is not a qualified. So no one should try to learn the Vedas who is not a qualified Brahman. The stricture has been wrongly interpreted in so many ways. A class of men who claim Brahminical qualifications simply by their birthright in the family of a Brahmin also claim that the study of Vedas is a monopoly of the Brahmin caste only. Another section of the people take this as an injustice to the members of other castes who do not happen to take birth in a Brahmin family, but both of them are misguided. The Vedas are subjects which had to be explained even to Brahmaji by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the subject matter is understood by persons with exceptional qualities of goodness. Persons who are in the mode of passion and ignorance are unable to understand the subject matter of the Vedas. The ultimate goal of Vedic knowledge is Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This personality is very rarely understood by those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance. In the Satya Yuga, everyone was situated in the mode of goodness. Gradually, the mode of goodness declined during the Treta and Dwapara Yugas, and the general mass of people became corrupt. In the present age, the mode of goodness is almost nil. And so for the general mass of people, the kind-hearted, powerful sage Vyasadeva divided the Vedas in various ways so that they may be practically followed by less intelligent persons in the mode of passion and ignorance. It is explained in the next sloka as follows. I read the verse once again. Taiva Veda Dume Daryante Pusharyata Evam Sakara Bhagavan Vyasa Kipana Vatsalaha. Thus the great sage Vyasadeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they may be assimilated by less intellectual men. Om Ajnana Tivandasya Chinansana Smakam Shaksalanvitam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Shitchetanyamanopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutaleshvaram Rupakadamayam Dadati Svapalantikam Vandeham Shiyo Shiyuda Padakamalam Shigam Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Jagajatam Saganaraganatam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savrutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandho Jyatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaura Devrinda Vanishve Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripe Pankha Kalpta Visha Kripas Nibe Visha Padam Pavanbhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachayita Satarine Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Haribo!
So we are at the 3 first chapters of the first canto is an introduction to the Bhagavatam. But then from the 4th chapter, the 5th chapter, explains the history of the Bhagavatam, how the Bhagavatam came about. That, and it begins with Srila Vyasadeva. He's sitting in his cottage in the Himalayas and is contemplating on the work that he has done. That what's the work that he had done? He wrote down the 4 Vedas. Actually, there was 1 Veda that, and he divided it in 4 parts: the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda. That so Vyas means divider. He divided the Vedas. That because he knew the people, Kali Yuga was coming, and in Kali Yuga, the population is quite degraded. That Payanalpayusa Sabya Kala Vasminchana Manasamana Mateo Mandabhagyo Padrita. This is in the first chapter of this first canto. It says, these people in this age, they are short-sighted. Short-sighted. They see only the pleasure now, but they don't understand where they're coming from, where they are going. Just the pleasure now. That's interesting. So people in this Kali Yuga, they work hard to achieve so many things and deal with so many problems, so many issues. And then they want 12, the craving is there, and they attain some of these things, and then they die, finished, all for nothing. They don't think about that. The people who don't want to think about that. If you speak about death, oh, you are this negative thing we don't want to hear. We want to enjoy now while speaking about death. So they see only short-sighted, and they are always disturbed, upadruta, in mind. Everyone is disturbed in this age. That because they are in passion and ignorance. And Srila Vyasadeva understood that. These people in Kali Yuga, they will not be able to understand the Vedas. To understand the Vedas, you must be in the mode of goodness. Goodness is the quality of a Brahman. You must have these Brahminical qualities to understand the Vedas. Otherwise, you think you understand. When in the mode of ignorance, thinks, I have understood, but it takes religion as irreligion and irreligion as religion. It doesn't understand anything. It does the opposite. And one in the mode of passion is completely bewildered. That by striving to enjoyment. Only those in the mode of goodness, the Brahmins. But Srila Vyasadeva was kind-hearted. He was kind-hearted, and he wanted everyone to benefit. That we have seen that yesterday. I spoke mostly to new people about the soul. We spoke more than 1 hour about the soul, trying to understand that we are not a body, that we are spiritual beings factually. But what does Krishna say? That you have in Bhagavad Gita, you have the amazing verse in the 2nd chapter that interesting. I opened the book and I have the right verse. Acharyavat pashati kachinmenam, acharyavat podati tateva sanya, acharya vashenam anya shinoti, sudvapienam vedanacheva kachit. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about it, cannot understand them at all. Cannot understand that they are not the body, but the consciousness is coming from the spiritual platform, from the spirit soul. That they cannot understand. Only those in the mode of goodness can begin to understand it. Begin. To realize it, you have to come to the transcendental consciousness. That, like in the 15th chapter, Krishna says the same in 15:10, 13, 15. Ukramantam stitam vapi, unsatam vakonamvitam, vimudanana pashanti jnana sakshisa. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spells of the modes of nature. But those who are trained in knowledge can see all this. That So Krishna makes it very clear that only a few fortunate will be able to understand this knowledge. But Srila Vyasadeva is compassionate and still he wants to give it to those in the mode of passion and ignorance. But he knows they will not be able to understand the Vedas. And we see many scholars, they would study the Vedas. And some scholars said these Vedas, it doesn't make any sense. But what's the purpose of the Vedas? They cannot find the purpose of the Vedas. You have to be in goodness. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedasarver eva vedya, Vedantakit Vedavit eva chaham. Vedasarver eva vedya. I'm to be known by the Vedas, Krishna says. That's the purpose of the Vedas. I'm to be known. I'm the compiler of the Vedas, the knower of the Vedas. So Srila Vyasadeva decided, yes, I will write, because this philosophy, people in Kali Yuga will not be able to understand that. And the lower class people that who are Sudras, lowest class, that they cannot understand this high philosophy. So therefore, he decided to write it in the form of stories. Stories that everyone likes to hear stories. And therefore he wrote the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata, and also, the Mahabharata contains all spiritual knowledge, especially this Bhagavad Gita is part of the Bhishma Parva from the Mahabharata. But Bhagavad Gita contains the essence of all knowledge, spiritual knowledge. It's also called Gita Upanishad. It's the summary of all the Upanishads, which represents the spiritual knowledge of the Vedas. So he did that. He wrote these Itihasas and the Mahabharata and so on for the benefit of people in general. But still, he felt dissatisfied. There's something wrong. So, because he wrote the Vedas and he wrote also extensively about Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda are ceremonies to go to, or ritualistic activities to get material benefit. Many people became very interested in that. But what happens when you are interested in this karma kanda? This to get material benefits. Material benefits are for the body. And you become more and more entangled in material life by following this. So he wrote this karma kanda, these Vedas. He wrote so many Puranas, and he wrote the Mahabharata, and he felt dissatisfied. We will see at the end of this chapter, Narada Muni will appear. So he has this doubt. Why am I not feeling satisfied by writing all this Vedic literature? He's the author of all this Vedic literature. If he's not satisfied, can we feel satisfied by reading it? Probably not. So there is something really wrong here. But then he was contemplating what is lacking. I don't feel satisfied. Then suddenly, his spiritual master Narada Muni appears. And we will see in the Bhagavatam, he appears and there is no introduction. Immediately, Narada Muni starts to chastise his disciple Srila Vyasadeva. And he said, first he said, you did a very great job writing all this Vedic literature. It's a great achievement. But then he said, are you only interested with the mind and the body? What with the interest of the soul? You forgot the interest of the soul. What is the interest of the soul? Interest of the soul is to revive our relationship with Krishna. We have so many relationships in this world. Soon they are over, forever, gone. It's just useless, this relationship. It can become useful if we use the relationships to get back our eternal existence. Then it's very useful. Otherwise, that you can, if someone gives you a picture of your last life and said you were a woman in your last life, here is the picture and here are your 10 sons, what will you say? It doesn't make sense. It's all gone. So we are all very interested in so many issues that we have today and problems to solve and so on. But it's all childish. It's all temporary, fleeting. And Narada Muni tells him, what you have done is not very nice. You have encouraged others to engage more and more in material life in the name of religion, in the name of Dharma. But what's the real Dharma? It's explained in the Bhagavatam. Savai pumsa parodharmo yato bhaktira adoksha ahai kapati savai pumsa parodharmo yato bhaktira adoksha ahaituk apatiyata yayatma shubhashidati. Savai pumsam. Pumsa means the humans. Parodharma, what is the highest dharma for humans, for humanity? Savai pumsam parodharma yato bhaktira doksari is to develop love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And express this love without interruption, and love and express that love in a pure way without material motives. And then Yayatma Shubhashidati, Atma, the Atma, the soul, then inside you feel Suprashidati, very much satisfied. And he forgot that. So Narada Muni chastises him. And then he instructs him. You should rectify your mistake and you should write the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is a summary of all Krishna's pastimes. The pastimes of creation in this world. Everything is his pastime. That is the source of everything. But this information we find in the Puranas, in different Puranas. that like the Vishnu Purana, the Harivamsa. Also Krishna's pastimes are described, but here the Bhagavatam gives a summary of all Krishna's pastimes from all the Puranas. Everything is in one place. So therefore, the Narada Muni instructed them, you should focus now on bhakti, on devotion for Krishna, and write the Bhagavatam. You should meditate on the absolute truth with devotion, and from this your inspiration will come to write this Bhagavatam. So that is the context here, the context. But yes, but then we have here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada speaks about Brahmins, especially in India, the Brahmin caste. But what do the scriptures say? Yeah. In Kali Yuga, everyone is born Sudra. There are no qualified Brahmins in Kali Yuga. It's so degraded that it's not by taking birth in a Brahmin family that one is a Brahmin. No, one must have the qualities of a Brahmin or develop the qualities. It's not you go to the university, you are born as the son of a doctor, a medical doctor. Are you also a doctor? No, you have to get a degree also. You may have a good chance as the son of a doctor to get a degree, but you have to go through it. These caste Brahmins, they pose themselves as Brahmins, but don't have the qualities of a Brahmin. Yeah, all these qualities are described in the Bhagavad Gita, that 1841, Samo Dapas. Yeah, it's 41. 42. Samodamastapachacham Kshantir Aryavam Evashan Kyanam Vishyanamastakyam Brahmakarma Svabhavacham. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmins work. So these are the qualities, like honesty. So there is the story, my Guru Maharaj tells that many times, the story of Satyakam. Satyakam was the son of a prostitute. And he went to a guru and asked the guru, I forgot the name of the guru, but can you accept me as your disciple? And the guru said, yeah, what's your caste? What's your upbringing? Who's your father? Well, I will ask my mother, he said. He went to his mother, and his mother said, I don't know who your father is. I was visited by many men. I don't know. Then Satyakam went to the guru, and he told that my mother does not know. She's visited by many men. I don't know. And immediately the guru said, I accept you as disciple because you are honest. That's the quality of a Brahmin. So there must be that inclination to be a Brahmin. It's not that Satyakam was already on the platform of a Brahmin, but he had the inclination, clearly. This is Vedic culture. Everyone has engaged according to one's nature. And he had clearly Brahminical inclinations. That's a selection, but that's based on qualities, on inclination, on nature. But today, the Brahmins, they pose themselves as Brahmins, but they don't follow the rules of Brahminical life, the rules of cleanliness and so on. That a Brahmin must be learned in the Vedas. But most are not. They may know something of the Vedas, especially the rituals of Karma Kanda, because that brings money. When we do sacrifices, samskaras, and so on, and by that we get an income. It's good, but that is not Brahminical. So Prabhupada was very strong against these caste Brahmins. Also Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he got in the clinch with these Brahmins because they were criticizing him that he was giving Brahminical initiation to those who were not from the Brahmin caste. But the point is, when you become a Brahmin, then the heart becomes purified by devotional service, and you come to the Brahman platform. You are a Brahman in quality, because by performing devotional service, you develop all these qualities naturally by performing devotional service, naturally. But being a Brahman is not a big thing. The perfect Brahman is on the liberated platform. The liberated platform is where devotional service, transcendental devotional service begins. That's the beginning for us. We must first purify ourselves, and when we come to that platform of being a Brahman, that's Nishtha, then comes Ruchi, Asakti, then you get transcendental taste, and then this Ananda comes, the spiritual bliss comes of serving Krishna. But yes, they are misguided, and they misguide others. They are most Brahmins in India, they are interested in Dharma, Artha, Kama. Moksha, mostly, they are not so concerned with liberation. But life is meant to get liberation from material entanglement. They use Dharma, religiousness, to get Artha, to get wealth. And then with that wealth, Dharma, Artha, Kama, they can fulfill their material desires. That's cheating. Cheating is going on. And Prabhupada, he pointed to that very strongly, and he made many enemies in India. Many enemies, just because of that. But this is the truth. They are misguiding people. We see, yes, so the ultimate goal of the Vedic knowledge is see Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This personality is very rarely understood by those in the mode of passion and ignorance. So that brings up, what are the qualifications to understand transcendental knowledge? That when one is in the mode of passion and ignorance, one cannot understand transcendental knowledge. One must come to goodness. That's how do we come to goodness? that Krishna, well, that it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam that there it is stated, we sing it every day, that Nastabe Sabata Sunitya Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavata Tamaskeva Bhakti Bhavati Naisiti. By regular attendance of the classes of the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the spiritual master, following his instructions, engage in devotional service under his instructions, all that is troublesome to the heart is nearly completely destroyed. What is troublesome to the heart is the mode of passion and ignorance. In the next verse, he said, Tato Jastamova Kamalabasaya Sete Eter Anavitam Stitve Satve Prashidati. By performing devotional service and attending the Bhagavatam class, if we attend the Bhagavatam class, we develop Surely, we develop the right inner attitude. That's very important. That Srila Prabhupada explains that in the introduction of Nectar of Instruction, that advancement in devotional service depends on one's inner attitude. Inner attitude. Inner attitude is related with our desires. That if we desire to serve Krishna with love, then we become purified. If we desire to enjoy this world, the heart does not become purified. Not possible. So the inner attitude is very important. And by hearing the Bhagavatam, we develop this inner attitude. We get the things right. And when we have the inner attitude, our actions will be according to this inner attitude. And then we make advancement. Because Prabhupada says also in Bhagavad Gita that he says, desire, material desire is a form of, is the cause of material conditioning, of being conditioned and under control of the material nature. That so by hearing the Bhagavatam, we are hearing that, and then we are realizing that, and then we have to bring that in practice. Not just hearing the Bhagavatam, then you have to do service. Everything you do must be service for Krishna and Guru. Guru is a representative of Krishna. Service. That and that will purify one. And that will surely bring one to goodness. But goodness is not sufficient. In goodness, you cannot understand Krishna. You need transcendental goodness. You need to be on the transcendental platform. You have to enter the consciousness of devotion. And you can only enter that consciousness of devotion when the heart is pure. So first you must purify the heart. But from the moment, even if your heart is impure, from the moment you have that pure, you act with that purity to only please Krishna, that you feel satisfaction in the heart, even when the heart is impure. That's by that selfless service to Krishna. That, but in this Kali Yuga, everyone is situated more or less in the mode of ignorance. That's the lowest mode. And everyone is quarrelsome because of that and unhappy. And Srila Vyasadeva knew this. And there he was meditating how to benefit the people in Kali Yuga, for the benefit of everyone. These are sages. They are thinking of the benefit for everyone, not the benefit of ourselves. That they were selfless. They were happy to sacrifice themselves for others. That and that is factually real love, pure love. That many devotees sometimes come with me with all their problems, but I see they are centered on themselves. You must center yourself on Krishna in service. Therefore, you forget yourself and you will become satisfied. Because that's a natural position of the soul to serve with love. That's natural. That so yes. Anyway, any questions, comments? Yes.
Wonderful class. I have a technical question. Vyasadeva is considered to be the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then why would he start writing the Vedas just for the body and the mind, and not, for the soul at the very beginning?
Yes, it's a Sakti Avesa avatar. That's true. But why does that happen? Why did the Pandavas suffer so much? Why did that happen? They were pure devotees. This is Krishna's will. That he wanted to teach us. But there is also another reason. There is another reason. Why are souls coming to this material world? Why are they coming here?
Because of their desire to enjoy without Krishna.
Yeah. So Vyasadeva fulfills their desire and gives them the Vedas. You want to enjoy? Okay, do it in a religious way. And surely you will go to higher species and enjoy more. So it's like a manual. You get a microphone, you get a manual, how to use it. What this button, that button, that button. So you come to this material world to enjoy. How to enjoy in a pious way, in a good way. The Vedas are there. Therefore, this karma kanda has a function for those who want to enjoy in this world. But Srila Vyasadeva, he offered that possibility, but he did not feel good. He said, as a sage, it's my duty to get them towards liberation, not further entanglement. And he did not feel satisfied. But that's the reason that most souls are here not to serve Krishna, but to serve themselves. And that's a reality. And Krishna respects that, their desire. If they want that, fine. But it's under his laws. Everything you do is temporary. And you make sure everyone, because that's the law of nature. You want to enjoy, what will happen? The great sages have concluded, one who wants to enjoy in this material world will have to suffer. It's not gratis. Whatever you go for enjoyment in this world, you have to pay with suffering. That's the law of karma. So you are under the law of karma. Krishna says you want to come to this material world and play God. Good. You can control, but you have to be responsible. Every action will have a reaction. And that is a fact. Every action has a reaction. But so Shalabhyasadev was an incarnation, but it gave also the possibility to the conditioned souls to fulfill their desire. But Krishna, so most people in this world, in this material world, have the desire to enjoy. That we see all the nations, what are they? What's their concern? Me first, my country first, and as much more wealth, create wealth. That's their program. That's the program of the conditioned soul. It's not our program of the devotees of Krishna. That we know that material nature is under control of Krishna. And the Vedic principles is called Rita. That principle in the Vedas is that material nature will cooperate with you if you do sacrifice. That is the basic principle. And we see in the Vedas all these demigods, they know this. They perform sacrifices for Vishnu, big sacrifices, these devas. It was the demons that, like in the Ramayana, we have Ravan, before going to the battlefield, he had Rakshasi Brahmins reciting the Vedas for auspiciousness in the battle. So they knew how to make material nature reciprocate. They knew that, how to do that. That knowledge is in the Vedas. But today, people are completely ignorant of it. And they are going down to lower species of life. They are all running to the hellish situation of taking rebirth as animals, lower species. And that is the result. I'm not saying that. Bhagavad Gita is saying that. Krishna points clearly to that. Anyway, yes.
Speaking of what you just mentioned, demoniac priests, brahmanas. In this purport, this verse that we just gone through, Prabhupada says, therefore the subject matter is understood by persons with exceptional qualities of goodness. Persons who are in the modes of passion and ignorance are unable to understand the subject matter of the Vedas. But at the same time, there are demoniac priests who understand the Vedas and know how to use it in order to gain power.
Yeah.
You know, Shukracharya, even Indra at some point accepted the
Shukracharya was good.
Yeah. So how do I reconcile these two statements? On one hand, Prabhupada says they can't understand Vedas because they're more the
they understand a part of the Vedas, how to get power, but they don't understand the purpose of the Vedas. The purpose of the Vedas is to get liberation from material entanglement and go back to the spiritual realm, to eternal life. They don't understand that. Yeah, but yes,
they can use Vedas.
They use, yeah, and they may even come to the mode of goodness. That mostly the demoniac, they are in a mode of passion and ignorance, but Shukracharya was certainly a qualified Brahman. He was a qualified Brahman, but he was the guru of the demons. And what do the demons want? They want to enjoy. So he was teaching them karma kanda, how to enjoy piously.
May I ask one more question about this as well? So the demons, they want to enjoy, but again, from Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that the demigods, they actually also want to enjoy.
Yeah.
But they enjoy, like, what's the difference between them? Why do they fight all the time?
Well, the demons, they want to enjoy in passion and ignorance. In passion means they are into enjoyment and more enjoyment, and they are bound by that. They will not do anything which will not give them a profit and enjoyment. If there is no profit, I will not do it. But those in goodness, they are detached from the result. Detached from the result. They want to serve Krishna, but they want to serve Krishna in opulence and so on, which is a contamination of passion, a bit. But what's the result? Yes, these devas are worshipping also Krishna. We are also worshipping Krishna. But if we perform pure devotional service, we become purified. But these demigods do not become purified. They stay in goodness, okay? But they cannot come to the transcendental platform because their facilities for enjoyment are so strong. There is a grip of the mode of passion. They cannot get out. They cannot get out. And we see that King Indra, he tries to destroy Vrindavan with the Samvartika clouds, and then after he apologizes to Krishna. But still, he apologizes for Krishna because he's afraid of being punished by Krishna. It's not that that he prays to Krishna, please purify me, let me serve you. No, so it was not with a pure heart, his prayers. And after that, it does the same stupid thing. Krishna goes to Svarga with Satyabhama and takes a parijata tree as a gift for Satyabhama, and Indra appears, hey, that's my tree, and they start to fight again. It's not purified. Because if it would be purified, it would be in Vaikuntha. But because it's not pure, it's in heaven, material heaven, Svarga, different place. But
on the same lines of Alex Patin's asking, Indra especially, very naughty boy, we can say. He constantly, like, even at some points, even though he's a deva, he's worse than a demon. Like when he's not paying respects to his spiritual master, and the demon was in the mode of was praying to Krishna.
Vritrasura.
So he's an anomaly sometimes, I feel. Is it?
Yeah, well, Vritrasura was a pure devotee, but he was cursed by Parvati to appear as a demon. But there you have this, in the battle, this discussion between Vritrasura and Indra, and Indra becomes morose and so on. And Vritrasura said that he's explaining indirectly to Indra, your heart is not pure. That you should have determination to serve Krishna. That and not go in the mode of passion and ignorance by lamenting and so on. So he's instructing him, but finally Indra defeats him. But Prabhupada writes there, Vritrasura, he went back to the spiritual world, and Indra stays in this material world, rotting in this material world, very heavy. So that we have in the Bhagavatam. Sometimes pure devotees appear in the body of a demon, but they never accept the demonic mentality. They remain pure in their mentality. Has so many lessons to learn. Yeah.
This question, like, related to Vedas. So as you expressed, the demigods work in a mode of goodness and the demons work in a mode of ignorance and passion. But when they follow the Vedas, they follow the same way. They both sacrifice animals. So how they are different? Because what I understand, you should
Yeah.
not use animals.
It's one great difference that the purpose of the Vedas, that's the purpose of sacrifice. It's mentioned in the Vedas, in 3.9 in Bhagavad Gita. Shakhnachto kamano yata lokayam karmabandhana. The purpose of sacrifice is to please Lord Vishnu or Krishna. That's the purpose of the Vedas, that to please Krishna. And then one becomes free from bondage, from the mode of passion and ignorance. The control goes away. When the sacrifice is meant for Vishnu. But the demons are inimical to Vishnu. They don't want to do anything with Vishnu. They don't accept the Vedas as such, the goal of the Vedas. They don't accept it. That they want only to please themselves. That I and mine, that's the demon. And they may follow the Karma Kanda of the Vedas, because in the Karma Kanda section, also Vishnu is there. But what happens in the Bhagavatam, Sukracharya is a Brahman, and he does the sacrifices for Vishnu, not the demons. But because the demons are following the instructions of Sukracharya, they get power. But that is on behalf of Sukracharya, who is factually a devotee, but he plays the role of guru for the demons. So that is very interesting. From that we can learn that we are in the same position. We are in the mode of passion and ignorance. And we try to come to goodness. We struggle with that. So we are in the same position as these demons. But if we follow the instructions of Prabhupada, by his blessings, we will come to goodness and transcend it. So this is without the blessings of the spiritual master, we cannot attain this goodness.
This mode of goodness, like when the Vyasdeva looked deeper at the Kali Yuga. So I understand everybody saying the people will be down or all this thing. But it's not this was the material body which was given to the people in this world. It's not capable of following the mode of goodness, like due to the context in this world.
Kala Sudra Sambhava, everyone is born as Sudra, but that doesn't mean you have to remain a Sudra. You can elevate yourself. And this process is given to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, but it's a slow process. It's a slow process of devotional service. You become slowly purified. So it takes many years. But suddenly we change. Like you look into the mirror, you see your face. Next day you look again in the mirror and you see it's the same face. But if you wait 10 years for looking in the mirror, you will see a big change. So by performing this devotional service, gradually we become purified, but it's slow. But you have to be determined. Krishna wants to see your determination. And you become purified, and you will come to the level of a Brahman. And that's the power of bhakti, of devotional service. But this power will only be there if we do it under the guidance of pure devotees. That's Krishna's will. Tat vinipanapatena pariprashnam sevya protection titegnam gyanas tat production. We should approach the spiritual master who is pure and learn from him, serve him with humility. And then that will happen. On our own? No. Krishna says, Mama Maya Rajya. My material energies cannot be overcome. But he says, but one who surrenders unto me can easily overcome it. Surrendering means following the instructions of the spiritual master who teach you the purity in intention. And without purity in intention, if we follow the instruction of the spiritual master and perform Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, the practice of devotional service, we are bound to become very quickly purified. It's very powerful. But most people cannot accept it in this age. It is said among thousands, it's said among millions, Koti, among millions who are perfect in self-realization. Self-realization means here getting liberation. Come to the platform of liberation. One may become a devotee of Krishna. It's so rare. So most people will not accept it. We ask Prabhupada, what is our greatest success? If we can make 2 to 3% of the population devotees, that will be a great success. Most people will not be able to take it. That will not be able to understand it even, because they are too much in ignorance. But by the mercy of a pure devotee, they can come to that platform.
But it's one of the challenges what I recommend especially is very difficult to follow it because it needs a lot of hard work and patience. That's why people can't follow it. Because if you have to do so much hard work like chanting and all the things, then it's quite a chance that you will not be able to do other things. And that's why people are not able to follow.
That's explained in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, it's like poison. At the end, it's like nectar. In the beginning, it's difficult. But then, when I joined this movement, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, but you don't want to do it. You have to force yourself and so on. But now, many years later, 30 years later, I get up before my alarm clock. No problem anymore to get early up in the morning. And you enjoy the chanting and the association of devotees. And you feel Krishna in the heart. That's then when you come to that stage, nobody can hurt you anymore. So you are connected with Krishna. And we have to make that connection. That's the point. Making the connection. That's what the Bhagavatam is about. It teaches us how to make the connection. Krishna is in our heart. Good. Thank you very much. Shantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.